All right, Mark, it is a pleasure to have you on this morning or this afternoon, I guess, in your case. Uh, and I've really been excited to sit down and talk with you about the the whole Cardano development process and how it's improved or how it can improve. And so either way that we're wanting to look at that aspect of things, I'm really keen on your opinion there. And because you've been I mean, I guess a great place to start would be to tell everybody a little bit about your background, how you got involved in crypto in general, how you got involved in Cardano, maybe even what you did prior to cryptocurrency being around. Just a general good background.
Okay, so I'm 34, and I got involved with Cardano in 2017, and been around since. I got involved with cryptocurrency a little bit before, but I wasn't an active participant. I just hold some Bitcoin on Mount Gox, so I'm waiting on reparations from that.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I am one of those, yeah.
Oh man. So is it true that you guys are getting about 25% back?
Yeah, about.
I mean, that's better than nothing for sure.
Yeah,
And
this.
and even about 25% of the Bitcoin should still put you in profit. Not
Yeah,
definitely not 100%, but something's better than nothing.
yeah, 25% is better than nothing, exactly.
Um, so what did you do? Like, how did you find out about Cardano? Um, and
I
I'm
found
guessing,
out about Cardano because it was, I think, number four crypto in CoinMarketCap during during the bull market in 2017,
okay.
and then I watched the Card Charles's explainer whiteboard, and it got me captured because I was aware of the issues with Ethereum, so I got involved in Cardano, and that's it.
Nice, man. Um, so you've seen Cardano whenever it was it was hard to develop on. And now it seems like we have some better tooling available for individuals. For individual developers that are trying to figure out the landscape of Plutus or Haskell. Can you speak a little bit about the tooling available now versus what it was whenever? I mean, I guess just a couple years ago. Mark, you might be muted. Oh, there it is.
Okay, the tooling wasn't available at all because uh, it was actually Cardano was written from the beginning twice. First, we had the Cardano SL developed by one company, which is what we launched with in 2017, and then in 2021, I think, became Byron Reboot, which was a Haskell client done by a different company.
Eh,
So with that, we launched Shelly, and later on Byron with smart contracts. And currently, we still you still need to know Haskell to deploy on Cardano for smart contracts. But there are several companies working on alternative programming languages, and or we have Melcomeda by DC Spark, which you can use to run EVM based contracts. So in Solidity, so it's all coming nicely together.
yeah, that's really important that we have, I think, a Solidity smart contract in conjunction with the the smart contracts from Plutus or Plutus version 2, if you will. Um, and so are there certain places that developers can go uh, to get some assistance if they're looking to build on Cardano?
Well, there is developer portal by Cardano Foundation, They launched entirely new educational series of educational videos. So that's been announced on the Cardano summit.
Okay.
And then there are discords and lots of other places people are really helping.
Well, that's good. That's really good. Um, so I mean, I guess it's just you have to be if you don't go to that Cardano website, you just kind of have to get plugged into a community and just kind of ask around for a second to see who knows what.
Yeah, Discord is a really good place for this. You can meet a lot of people willing to help or looking for help themselves.
Okay, perfect. Uh, let's uh let's jump right on over into a different section of Cardano, something that you're intimately familiar with in Catalyst. You had your D Cloud uh, proposal that a while back. I think it was one of the first Catalyst
It
proposals,
was the
wasn't it?
first. It was the first Catalyst fund. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm excited to hear what your experience was. And then if you like the whole thought process behind D Cloud, and if you have any more ideas other than D Cloud.
Well, the Catalyst experience is a little bit complicated. It changes so much from fund to fund, but I think it was fund 6 or 7 when really lots of community members got annoyed because things that were supposed to be funded weren't, and instead we had lots of not so important things coming in. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
can think of one in particular.
which one?
Uh, well, it was just this last one, and I think even uh, it got it was so out of hand that even Charles had mentioned that, and that was Turbo.
Oh yeah, Daedalus Turbo. Yeah, it's very complicated. The people who are assessing the proposals, they lack the for the most part, they lack the technical capability to identify
Are you talking about just like the
feasibility.
general voters?
Well, general voters are one thing, but there are the community advisors, or they've been renamed to something else, PA.
Okay.
But with that, for anyone who understands how the full client like Daedalus works, it's obviously a nonsense, but it still got high high rating by the community, so that's something we need to work on.
Yeah, I would agree as well. It's something. I mean, I look back at that proposal, and I think that that was really a big learning opportunity for the community. And I think that we did learn a lot. And I mean, I look at it and it was there was actually a bunch of 1 star and 2 star reviews on we'll talk Turbo specifically that actually got dismissed, and it's unclear why they got dismissed. But then Turbo ended up with a 5 star rating.
Yeah, it's when you make a proposal, you are able to ask for some reviews to be removed.
Ah, so they just
So
it
if you are a
appears.
proposer, you're not gonna ask for the good ones to be removed, but only for the bad ones, right?
Yeah, and so I mean, I that makes sense. They used the tooling available, and the community has to learn,
Yeah.
and I guess they have to start producing something prior to getting funded to
Yeah,
begin
so
with.
this reason really isn't about us losing money from the treasury. It's really about the opportunity cost, because things that could have been funded are not funded while the money remains in the treasury.
Right. I mean, I think that there's some great proposals that missed out, and like you look at those first 2 or 3, those were good proposals, and the community would have benefited from it, and those projects would have greatly benefited from it. But we'll move on from. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about with Catalyst in particular, or?
No, not really. I mean, now we are there's a problem with suitability of Catalyst to fund larger initiatives, larger projects. So that I suppose to be going to be covered with the announced membership-based organization.
What are your
And
thoughts
then,
around the member based organization that's supposed to be discussed and rolling out in 2023? Oh, it got muted again.
there
Yeah, I can
isn't
hear
much material available yet about the structure. So I'm signed up for the Cardano MBA.io or whatever website where the news are coming out, and waiting for the structure. There are some accommodating CIPs, so I'm involved with those, and we are slowly chipping away at it, and it's gonna be a blast.
you. I mean, I think that it's a good thing. I know some community members are like, "What in the world is this thing? What is even going on here? What do you mean by members based organization? Uh, is there is there some way that you can explain that to some of the community members that aren't aware of what it is or what the process is?"
Yeah, well, so member-based organization is a place where people who are more professional about Cardano, who already have something behind them, some experience and so on, to meet, discuss, codify improvements and changes for the protocol in a curated way so that the community can actually make a vote on the proposals that are coming. There is, for instance, steering groups which will focus on the individual pain points, and it brings together people who are on the top of the game for that particular field. Because Catalyst as itself isn't very feasible for larger companies. It really is a sort of a startup fund. It's not suitable for large initiatives by companies who who already built something big on Cardano. For instance, DC Spark can the process for them is really cumbersome, and it has too much overhead.
And so that's why they have to go project by project on what they're doing and ask for funding in that way, instead of, here's what we want to do in the next 3 years, and then get one round of funding and move forward.
Yeah,
That makes sense. So that's where the members based organization could step in and say, okay, let's batch this together, and then instead of it just being um, project by project, we could then say, you're funded for the next 3 rounds, taking X amount out of each round of Catalyst.
yeah,
That makes sense. I'm excited to see how that comes out. I'm excited to see uh, how the community responds to it. I'm excited to see how effective it is, and I'm excited to see what projects utilize it. And so it should be good.
yeah. I'm excited myself.
Um, and then moving on, there's something that is happening right now in the Cardano improvement proposals, that or the CIPs. Um, so you have Bitcoin improvement proposals or Ethereum improvement proposals. Well, we also have Cardano improvement proposals. Now, in the Cardano improvement proposals, or SIPs. There's one that's happening that I don't think very many people actually understand what it is. Um, and that's something that's really important, and it's input endorsers. And can you just explain what an input endorser is and how it greatly improves the capabilities of Cardano?
So endorsers are a way on how to back more transactions and have higher TPS by reorganizing. Currently, when you have a block, the block contains transactions. With input endorsers, what you can do is that you can uh, ratify blocks parallel with the main chain for consensus and put signatures, put stake based signatures on the parallel blocks which actually pack transaction instead. So it's like going from one lane highway to 10 lane highways with one in the middle for emergency traffic.
And I think that's a really easy way of explaining input endorsers, actually. You're just increasing the bandwidth.
Yeah, you are increasing the bandwidth because you don't need to pack transactions into the blocks, but instead just blocks, references to the blocks.
That's good. Um, and then what are some other Cardano improvement proposals that have either gone through or that are working their way through the process that you're excited about?
So there is one which changes the reward sharing scheme for stake pool.
Which one's that one?
Uh, I don't think it doesn't have a number yet, or I don't remember, but
Okay, then what does it do?
it
Or like or
changes
what's the
the it changes the reward based formula from depending on the total stake to it changes how pledge is calculated when it comes to rewards. So instead of needing to pledge 64 million or how much is it now, you would it would calculate as a relative pledge stake influence. So if you would have 10 million in pledge and 10 million in delegation, so total 20, you would have higher rewards than if you had 10 million in pledge and 15 million in delegated stakes, so total 25 million.
Okay. And are you talking about them changing the K parameter?
Well, the K would become irrelevant at that point. It could be even removed.
Really? And then would any other parameter have to change? Would it be the A naught? Would it be something else along those lines? Or
Other parameters could change. We could for instance remove the minimal stake pool cost,
but I
the
mean you could
340.
could you could you not really have like a no minimum stake pool cost and then no percentages? So could you theoretically have a 0-0 pool and just run at a loss?
Well, you could do that, or we could introduce minimal variable fee instead of minimal fixed fee.
Explain that thought process a little bit.
So now we have minimal fixed fee, 340.
I think your headset muted on you again. Last I heard was right now we have minimal fixed fee.
Right now we have minimal fixed fee and 348 and and undefined or unlimited variable fee. What we could do instead is to remove the fixed fee, which harms small players, especially new small stake pools that want to start are very much harmed by the minimal fixed fee, and move over and create and use minimal variable fee, which would impact everyone equally.
So the more blocks that you produce, the more of a small fee comes out as well.
Yes.
I think that's a more egalitarian way of doing it. And then I think that that actually helps decentralization to a large degree.
Yeah, that's the
And
idea. Are you running a stake pool?
I'm actually not running a stake pool. I am more mechanically inclined than I am software inclined. I've done basic coding in college, but I have not. We go back to the tooling, right? I'm somebody that if you just give me uh if you give me normal text and you go, hey, code your way through this, and you're going to be in charge of the security of your funds and the security of anyone else's, or the actual production of anyone else's. I would just much rather delegate to somebody else that has a higher knowledge base than me, and somebody that has the time to put in and learn it all and set up their nodes, set up their bare metal if they want to go that way, or set up a processing through any sort of cloud. And that was the whole thought process behind your D cloud, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the idea behind the cloud. There is
Is Go ahead.
there are some projects that are trying to do the same that I wanted to. For instance, Stack OS or Nunet. It's some, but I didn't have time to look at Nunet completely. But it's by guys affiliated with SingularityNet.
And so is there any other project that you're working on right now that you can speak to, or
I'm
any
work
other ideas?
I'm working on ADOSIA marketplace fulfillment.
So you guys have some stuff rolling out here pretty soon.
Yeah, the space
Uh
rocket.
yeah. Um yeah, man. I don't know how much you can talk about what's coming out. Um but I have heard that you guys are aiming for the end of the year, but it's unlikely that you're gonna make the target of end of the year.
I'm not familiar with the timing.
Oh, okay. And then what about what about it is okay, so for those that don't know, what is a Doja
ADOSIA is a decentralized marketplace for manufacturing.
for manufacturing? What do you
Yeah,
mean for
starting with 3D printing, and there are other things we can go from there.
and so then who so then you could actually just 3D print whatever is being sold. So almost like a Etsy for Cardano.
3D print, you could 3D print NFTs.
Oh, so you could get a 3D printout of your clay, or you could get a 3D
Yeah,
printout of your space bud,
yeah.
or that's actually a really good idea. I really like that idea. How does the Adoja token get used in all of that?
It's used for security deposits and stuff like that.
So it's used as the currency in the middle of it,
Yeah,
or okay, I like it. I think that that's a really great way to represent your NFTs that you're wanting to hold for a long time, or the ones that have some sort of nostalgia.
Yeah,
And I don't think that it's something that everyone's gonna get, and I think that that's okay. It doesn't need to be everybody.
nothing is never for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
People
there's
taste
always
differ.
trade-offs. Go ahead.
People tastes differ. People have different tastes and get excited by different ways. So someone could be excited about the space rocket. Somebody else could have different opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're looking at like just 3D printouts for for their for their NFTs, they're the ones that people are going to want to hold for a long time. They're the ones that people are going to want to really kind of just cherish. And you could do a good 3D printout with resin or something along those lines. How Yeah, I'm curious to see how the whole marketplace turns out, and how you guys go through it all. So you're going to start with 3D printouts. Is there any other plan that you guys are wanting to push forward
There
after
is
that?
also an Internet of Things component, but I'm not familiar with details on that, and it's gonna be coming a little bit later. So
Okay, good deal, man. Uh, Mark, uh, have have you ran a stake pool, or do you run a stake pool? Is there a way that people can support you there?
no, I don't run a stake pool.
So is there anybody wanting to get more familiar with you or with your projects? Is there a way that we could support you and what you're working on?
Just focus on Catalyst, and I have sometimes have a proposal there.
So back to Catalyst then. Have you been funded? I thought
No,
so. I didn't know if DC, or if the yeah D Cloud got funded or not. I know Fund One was quite small, and so that's why I didn't know if you had been funded yet or ever put that proposal back out there.
I never put the proposal back. I had some different proposals which didn't get funded either. But you may be familiar with the DRAP concept that is
Hmm.
coming to Catalyst. So then you will be able to support me because I want to be a DRAP. So then you can delegate your stake voting rights for Catalyst to me. But that's coming later next year. So
And can people? This is something that I haven't even tried myself. Can people vote with a cold wallet?
uh, yes, you can vote with the hardware wallets or cold wallets. You just need to register the QR code and scan it with your phone, and then you are good.
Okay, good deal. Mark, it was a pleasure talking with you this morning, or this afternoon in your case. I hope you have a terrific weekend, and I thank you for working out some kinks in our time zone, and really kind of actually making that aware to me that um, the proposed time zones that I had actually weren't so great to certain other time zones.
Yeah,
So I need to do a better job of that on my part to really allow more options for different time zones, so that way I can be more available to people. So thank you for that as well, and thank you for being a part of this community. Uh, and I think that you've definitely had the opportunity um, to probably go and work on other things, but I thank you for sticking around the Cardano community. I thank you for pushing through any sort of adversity that's come your way, and I thank you for all of your good ideas you push forward in our community?
I think community is one of the biggest strengths of Cardano. So
So actually, w-
if you consider leaving, the big question is where would you go?
yeah.
There is not better. There is no better one. So
So hold on, we're not going to end it yet. There is something that you said years ago that I still remember. Oh, what was the tweet? It was, um, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
yeah,
And you were talking about some of the problems of Cardano, and uh, and at that time, I think that was revealing to a lot of people, and I think that maybe you're alluding to some of the tooling, or maybe you're alluding to some of the just the general issues that Cardano had. But um, I thought that was a great quote, and even though we have our own problems, even though we have our own issues, um, we're at least not walking through this blockchain completely blind.
that is very true.
And so, um, again, Mark, uh, it seems like you are genuinely wanting to make the best for blockchain, make the best for people as a whole, and Cardano seems like your outlet to do that. And I I think that you're a great one to have in our community. And again, thank you for your time as well today.
Thank you for your time as well.
All right, anybody that stuck around, please, if you want to support this channel, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, do whatever you need to do. But if not, then make sure to give it 2 thumbs down. Oh, so anyways, we'll there, and thank you everybody.